Welcome back to Road to FIRE. We're a family of three documenting our journey to FIRE, financial independence, retire early. Let's chat about our July 2021 net worth update. I'll provide all of our current assets and liabilities and outline this month's growth drivers with all the numbers like always, so please hang with me. So cash was king for us in July. The market did carry us, but we stored away more cash than we have ever in the last few months, and it helped our net worth grow a bit more than expected in July. Although our cash on hand will be depleted soon, I'm enjoying this current moment. I sometimes forget that even if we are not investing as much as we usually do with our after-tax dollars, our pre-tax dollars and sinking funds are still working for us. It's all about finding the right balance. Our longer-term goals is to get our emergency fund up to about 1 year, and after this month, I do see that being a key benefit for us. But it's so hard to have money just quote-unquote sitting in our savings account, especially with the crazy inflation happening right now. We are relatively new to tracking our net worth, and since we have, I feel like all of our other goals have become more alive or more important. I think tracking our net worth is probably the single most motivating metric for us as of right now. So here's how you calculate your net worth. It's pretty easy. So to find your net worth, you take your assets minus your liabilities. Think of your assets of what you own, while your liabilities is what you owe. Keep in mind, though, that not all assets are weighted the same. Focus on growing your appreciating assets over time. Now, we don't include assets with a value of less than $5,000 into our calculation just to make things easier for us, but do what works best for you. We choose the inputs that makes the most sense to us and our long-term plan, but are just as needed for your own calculations. But not all investments are treated equally. I posted this on my communities page about a week ago. First, thanks for everyone who takes the time to answer my questions. I'm always humbled to see everyone's responses and comments within each of my community page posts. But just a call out, I don't see anyone's individual vote. It's aggregated by YouTube and not the channel owner. Anyways, the question focused on primary residence and is it considered an investment? I was a bit shocked to see this almost split evenly between yes and no, and the comments on both sides had very valid points. For us to reach FIRE, there are two things we focus on: our stock investments and cash flow. Right now, we are house hacking, which does provide us with cash flow, but once we move to our next home, I doubt I will see it as a true investment, although maybe in the future. But the key focus for us is increasing our stock investments and finding more cash flow. Okay, so let's review our current numbers. All numbers are through the end of July. We track our net worth at the end of the month and has kept this consistent since we started tracking. Again, these updates are snapshots in time as our net worth is fluid. We treat these like checkpoints just to see how we're chugging along towards our bigger goals. In July, we invested about $1,600 after-tax dollars, which is about $5,000 lower than what we have done in Q1 and Q2, so we have a lot of grounds to make up in Q3. But despite investing less, we still saw a 5-figure increase in our net worth month over month. It always comes down to your overall mix. So our assets are made up of two main sections. We have our large or fixed assets as well as our liquid assets or our FIRE assets. As of right now, our current net worth is almost all in our stock portfolio outlined here, and that won't change anytime soon. Our large and our fixed assets are 3 in total. First are our 2 cars, which are both depreciating assets but still have current value. Now, the value of both of our cars have increased because this market is upside down right now due to supply and demand issues, but I kept both cars fixed from last month. Our other assets is our duplex, which we bought in the end of November of last year. Our current value is just under $390,000, but we kept it at $365,000 to be conservative. I read a few comments about how people update their home values. Most people do it about 1 to 2 times a year, so I'll keep that same cadence. These 3 assets value has stayed relatively flat versus last month, landing about $425,000 overall. And for our liquid assets, we include our investments, both taxable and non-taxable, as well as our cash on hand. For cash, we have about $1,000 in our checking accounts. This money is moving to our savings accounts, but bank-to-bank transfers take a long time. And then we have just under $29,000 in our savings, which is nearly about a $3,000 increase versus last month. In total, we have about $30,000 in cash in our accounts, mostly within our savings accounts in Capital One. For retirement, we have about $251,000 in our 401ks, IRAs, and our Roths, and that is about a $10,000 increase from last month. And then we have about $89,000 or about $90,000 in our after-tax brokerage account, up about $2,500 month over month. In total, our liquid assets or our key assets are at about $371,000. I really love to see this number grow. So for total liabilities, we have only two items so far right now. We have our one car loan, and that balance is at $22,700, which is down about $1,000 from last month. Really slow progress here. We then have our current mortgage on our house hack with a balance just over $338,000 on a 2.25 interest rate. In total, we owe just over $361,618, which is a small decrease from last month. I really can't wait to get back on our debt-free journey by the end of this year. Okay, so here's our total net worth breakout for the month of July. Our total assets are at $796,591, including our liquid and long-term fixed assets, which is about a $15,000 increase from last month. We are so close to getting over $800,000 in assets. And our total liabilities, including our last car loan and our duplex, is just about $362,000, making our total net worth to be about $434,973, which is an over $15,000 increase month over month, driven by our cash on hand and pre-tax investing. So happy to continue to see positive growth month over month, but I'm still bracing myself for this future recession that's coming. And our target for August is to be over $450,000, and that will keep us on track for our 2021 net worth goal. To be honest, I'm just happy that we're seeing positive growth month over month and we are closing the gap. And when I say closing the gap, I mean catching up on missed time in our 20s. Because we were goofing around for almost a full decade, we have a lot of time or ground to make up, and it's finally showing in our numbers. I believe everything happens for a reason, so I'm no longer fussing about the past. But my husband and I have been talking about what we want next year to look like, as we feel very confident about this year's goals for the most part. And now we're looking to see what next year can potentially be for us. Now, I can't stress this enough, but having a partner on the same page makes things so much easier, especially when chasing FIRE. I'm sure I wouldn't be where I am right now without him. Just for kicks, I have shared this before, but now it's a true year-over-year review. This was our net worth last year in July 2020. We had about $262,000 in assets and nearly $56,000 in car loans. Our total net worth was just over $207,000. We doubled our net worth in 1 year due to paying down debt, getting into the real estate game, and making aggressive investing goals. I can't wait to see where we will be in July 2022. So here's our net worth trend graph for 2021. This graph visualizes our net worth growth month over month in a simple view. In May, our net worth finally hit over $400,000. In June, we are just shy of $420,000. And in July, we're almost at $435,000, which is a 3.6% growth month over month. Now that is smaller than last month, but it's expected as the base number continues to grow. Honestly, I'm happy with any growth over 0%. But we are positive we can hit 3 of our 5 goals for 2021. We will struggle with our investing goal, and the side hustle income goal has become harder than we expected. But both goals work in tangent, because the more side hustle income we can make, the more we can invest and put to debt. So I have decided that focusing on increasing my side hustle income is the main goal for the remainder of the year after we buy our primary home. That goal alone can help us reach all 5 goals in this year. Lastly, the tired bug has got to me, so my drive or motivation has kind of waned a bit, but I'm really working to get realigned and focus on finding new streams of income for the remainder of the year. I think my body is telling me to rest, so there might be a slowdown on my content in August, but we'll see. But I always appreciate every comment, like, dislike, and support over the last 13 months on my channel. Now, if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching, but don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe below. Until next time.